Why is Michelle Obama whinging? She seems to always be whinging. Why are things so hard for her right now?
I know. I mean, because when you're thinking of victims of this awful world, you think of Michelle Obama and how terrible we've all been to her. This woman is a one-woman destitution derby. Every time we check in on her at her podcast, she is feeling sorry for herself. She is criticizing Barack Obama or this country. She never has a positive word to say about anything.
Megyn Kelly just made some bold claims about Michelle Obama's relationship, and this wasn't your usual gentle opinion. It was sharp, dramatic, and full of comments that left folks stunned. What exactly did Megyn reveal? Let's just say, it was intense, and definitely got people talking. Buckle up, this commentary is wild.
Her most recent episode, which still on YouTube, she's got like 200,000 subscribers. It's really amazing. And now she's been doing this for how many episodes? She's been literally on every podcast of the left wing promoting it, and that's still all she's managed to get. Here she is interviewing Dr. Sharon Malone, perhaps better known as former Attorney General Eric Holder's wife. And therein lies the problem, as these two ladies, married to two very famous men, are pissed that they are not the alpha in terms of popularity and recognition in their...
Megyn Kelly didn't hold back. She went full force on Michelle Obama's relationship with Barack, and it quickly became one of the most buzzed about moments online this week. Forget the flawless image we usually see in the media. Megyn came in strong, questioning the storybook romance and hinting at what she says is a much less polished reality. Let's just say, it grabbed everyone's attention.
That's annoying, because she's supposed to be the star, Glenn. Michelle Obama. This dovetails perfectly with so many other comments she's made about how she is, like, what about me? What about me? What did those 8 years in the White House do to my soul? And why isn't anyone asking? They shouldn't have to be told to ask about how I'm doing.
Now let's get into the real talk. The way the Obamas are often seen as this top-tier power couple. It's all very polished, almost like a well-produced show, graceful, stylish, and always media-ready. But according to Megyn, that picture-perfect look might be more about presentation than truth. Behind the public smiles and online posts, she hints things might not be as smooth as they appear.
Mom is still at it, and in this particular soundbite, she's got thoughts on relationships. Listen here.
Relationships are long, and there are also ebbs and flows, right? So I think sometimes people who date don't realize that, you know, in long-term relationships, you're gonna have deep dips, and you're gonna have
a bad year.
You're gonna have. I tell people, and folks think this is harsh. It's like, you're gonna.
Megyn didn't just imply that the Obamas' marriage has challenges. She went all out. According to her, it's less about romance and more about maintaining an image. When you're that famous, a relationship isn't just private. It turns into a brand, a tightly controlled presentation. Every smile, every photo, every appearance is planned. And behind those perfect shots, Megyn claims there's a full team making sure everything stays picture perfect, even down to cueing when to smile.
Went on a podcast called Diary of a CEO. It's kind of rings a bell like a founder kind of situation. And once again, wants you to know how awful it is to be married with children.
There are just many natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like, I try to tell couples, of course it's hard. Just listen to what I said, right?
Here's where it really gets interesting. Megyn described the Obamas' marriage as more of a high-stakes balancing act than a romantic journey. She framed it as the kind of relationship where real emotions are often sidelined because everything plays out in the spotlight. Every disagreement, every quiet moment, every small interaction, they're all watched closely. According to Megyn, it's like living inside a non-stop reality show, where maintaining the ideal couple image matters more than simply being real. She suggested the Obamas aren't just a team, they're performing for the world, caught in a setup where everything has to seem perfect, even when it's not. She highlighted how politics can wear people down, constant travel, time apart, and non-stop media attention. It's draining. And in her opinion, their relationship may focus more on sticking to the public script than sharing genuine, private moments. So if folks truly think it's all candlelit romance and fairy tale endings, Megyn says they might also think kale is a dessert.
time, I'm not exaggerating, Michelle Obama is making clear that everything that she had to do to support her husband's career was something that was completely against her will, that it was some sort of like psychological damage imposed on her for having to do it. Like she has resentment and bitterness, like I went to this dinner, but against my will because I had to. That's the first thing. I mean, how much anger and resentment does she have toward her husband for having had his own political career that, as we talked about before, made Michelle Obama one of the richest, most influential, most famous, and most powerful people on the planet. And yet she talks as if that trajectory that he took her on was something that, turned her into some kind of horrible victim that we ought to...
Megyn's boldest moment. It was this. Maybe, just maybe, the public needs a more honest look at what marriage really becomes when power, politics, and public image take over. Forget the fairy tale. She called for something authentic. Something with flaws, tension, and those quiet, late night, what are we doing? Kind of moments. Because let's be real, no relationship is instant perfect, not even with stylists, media teams, and global attention. Megyn didn't hold back. She said these so-called ideal couples are creating unrealistic expectations. It's like serving up a cake made of air and expecting people to eat it. Without questioning the illusion, she explained how the polished image we see from couples, like the Obamas, can make regular people feel like their own love stories aren't enough. The result, a strange mix of pressure, comparison, and maybe a touch of disillusionment. And here's the twist, there was no rebuttal. No exchange. Michelle Obama didn't reply. No statement. Silence. And that silence, that's what sparked everything. It left the internet buzzing, theories flying, and suddenly it felt like we were all at a dinner table where someone dropped a bomb. And no one dared speak first.
Of course, leads me to Michelle Obama. You're back, and she's given us a whole new realm of comments. Glenn, we saved them just for you. Because she's still...
I told your staff I only started watching this podcast religiously because of the times I've been on your show and you've talked about it by yourself or with me, so I'm very ready to talk Michelle Obama.
Oh, good. She's still just as bitter.
Megyn's commentary wasn't just fiery entertainment. It was a challenge, a direct hit to the polished stories we've been fed about celebrity and political relationships. She said what most don't. Even famous couples deal with the same chaos the rest of us do. The disagreements, the letdowns, the trade-offs, and those moments when love alone doesn't magically solve everything. And somehow, that's both funny and reassuring. Because if even Michelle and Barack have off days, maybe we're all doing better than we think. That's what made Megyn's critique hit hard. She didn't just call out the Obamas, she held up a mirror to our culture, showing how skewed our standards have become. In a world obsessed with filtered snapshots and highlight reels, she reminded us that real life is much messier, and way more relatable. So no, this wasn't just another headline or viral clip. It felt like a wake-up call. For anyone who's ever looked at a celebrity couple on a glossy cover and thought, why aren't we like that? Megyn's response was clear, because nobody is. Not even the ones with streaming deals, private planes, and red carpet smiles. Under all the sparkle, they're still just people. They bicker, they get frustrated, and sometimes, they probably sit in silence on the couch, questioning it all while snacking on leftovers and binge-watching shows in old sweatshirts.
Listen to her talking about her 8 years in the White House. SOT 27.
So I'm at this stage in life where I have to define my life on my terms for the first time. So what are those terms? And going to therapy just to work all that out. Like, what happened that 8 years that we were in the White House? What did that do to me?
Yes.
Internally, my soul, we made it through. We got out alive. I hope we made the...
Megyn's sharp critique of the polished Obama marriage wasn't just casual shade. It was a direct shot at the illusion of perfection that political and celebrity couples often present. She wasn't calling them out just to stir drama, well, maybe a little. She was making a bigger statement when a relationship turns into a brand with staged photos, planned interviews, and streaming deals. It stops feeling real and starts adding pressure for everyone watching. Because let's be honest, if the Obamas are seen as the ultimate example of love, what does that mean for the rest of us? Suddenly, your disagreement over dishes feels like a red flag. But here's the truth, it's not. That's just life. Messy, ordinary, and quietly meaningful life. And Megyn isn't buying into the airbrushed romance stories. She's pushing back on the unrealistic expectations these spotlighted couples create, reminding us that it's normal to bicker over food, feel off after a rough week, or want some solo time with a snack and your favorite guilty pleasure show. Because if even Michelle and Barack deal with that kind of thing, then your relationship with its undone laundry and missed dates is doing just fine.
Oh my God, the utter privilege and how out of touch this person is. She lived in a 55,000 square foot mansion on the taxpayers' dime with 18 acres of rose gardens and beautiful grounds all around her, flying on Air Force One, Marine One, and being the First Lady of the United States, lauded wherever she went with universally praising press coverage and covers of Vogue like she was the greatest beauty who'd ever walked the face of the earth, then left to write her best-selling memoir for which she was paid millions, then signed.
Then came the Netflix deal millions to broadcast their polished image straight into our homes. And that's when Megyn Kelly, with her trademark edge, tore into the silent script so many power couples follow. The script that says, no tension, no flaws, just perfect smiles, quiet romantic lines, and lines like we're better than ever, delivered with media training and magazine-ready charm. Megyn wasn't buying it. Her critique wasn't about drama, it was about honesty. A push for truth in a world drowning in filters. Because let's be real, people are tired. We don't need another flawless couple selling the idea that love is all sunsets and joint workouts. We want to see the missed alarms, the side-eye texts, the reality, the struggle, the effort, the mornings where everything feels off for no real reason. And that's why her words landed like a hammer in a room full of glass illusions. The response? Total internet frenzy. News outlets jumped in, hashtags flew, and opinion posts flooded timelines like confetti at an award show. Some were shocked, how could she say that? While others were clapping back at their screens, because finally, someone said it, maybe the dream isn't real. And maybe it's time we stopped chasing the illusion and started valuing the real-life mess that makes relationships human. Because whether you're the first lady or just someone trying to keep the house running, relationships are work. And the truth, everything feels lighter when we stop pretending they're not.
Own sense of everything. They mess you up. You love them dearly, but they're a hassle.
What? I mean, there's something wrong with this person. Like, she's seriously depressed. She has the most negative, dark outlook on life I've ever heard from a public figure. Certainly one who's been given so much. Okay, her window into motherhood and having a child, the first thing she says, they mess you up. They mess you up. Maybe that's what happened to her. Maybe she was totally delightful before the two daughters came along. I don't know. She clearly is not enjoying motherhood and enjoying being in a marriage. Even less. It's not you if things get hard. It's all hard. It's all hard.
The other side, of course, rushed to defend the Obama's privacy, calling Megyn's comments harsh, invasive, and unnecessary. But here's the thing, no one had a clear answer. No final verdict. No big reveal. Just a whirlwind of opinions and online debates, proving one truth: no marriage, no matter how polished or perfect, can avoid the spotlight's glare. Meanwhile, Michelle Obama, silent, graceful, strategic, and completely silent. And that silence, oh, it spoke louder than any mic drop at an awards show. No response, no cryptic Instagram post, no emotional interview on morning TV. Just calm/quiet strength. And that silence did what no PR team could. It kept the buzz alive, fueled rumors, sparked gossip blogs everywhere. Was she ignoring the critique because it didn't matter? Or was there some truth in Megyn's bold words? Was it hitting too close to home? That silence gave Megyn's comments staying power. They stuck around, like a lingering scent in a high-profile scandal. It grew beyond a simple soundbite. It became a cultural moment, and the irony. By saying nothing, Michelle might have said, it all dots up. What's the real lesson here? Besides Twitter's meltdown and endless memes.
Then left to write her best-selling memoir for which she was paid millions, then signed a Netflix deal for which she was paid millions, is giving speeches for which she's getting paid almost $1 million per speech, has two daughters who went to Harvard and USC. The two of them together, I haven't even counted her husband's riches. They're definitely billionaires by now. The house in Martha's Vineyard, which is, I think, $20 million out on the yachts. What happened to me? Why doesn't anyone think about what happened to me during my I'm enraged. I'm almost speechless at how ridiculously out of touch this person.
Behind every perfect couple photo, every glowing magazine cover, and every headline shouting marriage goals, there's real life, the kind with awkward pauses, small fights, and cereal bowls left out. What Megyn did, whether you agree or not, was pull back the curtain. She reminded us not to take the glossy image as gospel truth, because when you peel back those layers, you don't find perfection, you find what we all go through: complexity, struggle, growth, and yes, a lot of mess. This wasn't just a roast of the Obamas. Let's be clear, it was a cultural wake-up call. It's a message to stop idolizing every flawless couple on Capitol Hill or Hollywood as if they have the love blueprint. Spoiler, they don't. They have problems, just with better lighting, so get ready. This isn't the last chapter. It's just the start of a bigger reckoning. Plenty more polished love stories are waiting for a Megyn Kelly style reveal. And trust me, when the next one cracks under the weight of its filtered fantasy, you'll want your popcorn, your wine, and your group chat ready.
Husband happens to be former Attorney General Eric Holder. He's a non-factor.
He is not a non-factor.
He is a non-factor in our relationship.
Story. Okay,
in our
then
story.
let's contextualize that,
Although they put us together because we were both reluctant spouses attending one of these huge dinners. And where were they? Was Barack a U.S. senator at the time?
Yes, he was a senator because you were still living in Chicago, and Eric was in private practice. So it was the very early days.
Because here's the truth, it's way more interesting this way. While headlines shout Megyn Kelly destroys Michelle Obama, the real story is bigger than a viral clip. It's about breaking the fairy tales we hold on to about marriage, power, and perfection. If even the first couple, the so-called gold standard of love, can't be all smiles and sunshine, maybe we can all relax about our own messy lives. That's why this moment wasn't just juicy gossip, it was a cultural reset, a raw, honest reminder that behind every smiling couple on a magazine cover, there's a complicated, chaotic, and beautifully imperfect relationship. And Megyn Kelly, love her or not, she pulled back the curtain and gave us front row seats to the real deal. No scripts, no edits, just the honest, uncomfortable, and necessary